the starry sea. With a batlet held tight with glee, hunt OPC his battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer, reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battle anchor ship does soar, reduces heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course, unity our driving force. Unity our driving force. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans,
hey everybody,
foes we fight, community our guiding light.
whee! All right, let's turn the tunes down. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday. Y'all know what that means. Time to pop open your favorite soda like a good American that you are. And we're going to talk about your favorite video game. Yeah, Star Trek Fleeca Man. It's going to be good. We're going to talk about the Reliant smashing, at least to what we can tell, sales records. This thing is selling like hotcakes, as your Papaw would probably tell you. There's a lot of them. If you've been seeing them around, good. People like them. That's the thing. We're going to give you the raw truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. And we're going to talk about, was the Reliant designed to have OPC and have that to be a thing? The answer might surprise you, as well as going over player accounts, talk about what's going on in the game, and there's even a new event right now that's another little treasure hunt. So hopefully we'll have all of those type of things today that we can discuss and talk about. Silva's good to see you. Yeah, no cinnamon-based sodas today. Not today. That was a painful trip down Twitch Lane. Predicting 3 million in sales here for the Reliant, Frederick. So we can actually get, now if y'all remember, I put out a prediction. Rev put out a prediction last month. Actually did 2 months ago when we were talking about if the Reliant came, if it comes, what would it look like? How much could it earn, etc. And I said I expected the Reliant to earn 3 to 5 million in gross revenue. I was including packs that would sell. So also including the packs themselves, right? Besides just the ship, how much would the packs earn? And my estimate was around 5 million gross revenue. So how close are they going to be to hitting that number? Well, we're going to go over a little bit of that today. Now, granted, we don't have exact figures. So before anybody asks, no, I do not actually have Scopely's internal information and numbers. What we have is conjecture based on understanding and knowing how much of these ships they're selling, as in how many of the ships there are. Well, we know the ship's $100. It'll take a genius to math that out. If the ship's $100 and they sell 10,000 of them, well, that's easy. That's 1 million gross revenue. It's easy math. So easy a ginger could do it. So we're going to talk about that and let everybody get in here real quick. And hopefully y'all been having a good time. I've been enjoying it. I've been OPC hunting. My biggest hit so far is I got 6 million OPC off of Reliant. That is a full day's worth of full pulling for me, and I was very excited about that. Very, very excited. So welcome in everybody. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Best community in all of gaming. We're going to talk about all those things and more. Welcome in to Frederick. Good to see you. To Rob, question, when are we going to see the GS31 refiner back? That is a known issue. They've acknowledged that it's a problem, and it is currently being fixed. I don't have anything besides that, but I can tell you it's been acknowledged, as well as a couple of other issues that I was just talking to one of the community managers about this morning, that being Sim Pauly. that a lot of you have experienced, especially if you're a G6 player and you did like a big upgrade and now it's asking you for like 200 speed ups that were Sigma speed ups. I've brought that up as well. So the GS31, I believe should be fixed. I'll have to double check. It was a known issue yesterday evening. I've not double checked it this morning. There was another update that got pushed though. So make sure that y'all do the most recent update. If you have it available to you, double check on your Android device, etc. I know Apple takes a lot longer to push out things. In fact, we just put out episode 2 of the GG's podcast with myself and Ripper. And we talked about timelines, and actually one of the negatives that is outside a lot of gaming companies' controls that Apple updates can take a while. So check, make sure, and Meme is saying that it's been fixed on PC and Mac, still pending on the other platforms, IRC. I think it's also, again, based on talking to folks and my own devices, I've got an Android device, was working fine here. But stay tuned. I'll try to get that, by the end of the day if y'all are still experiencing. If you are still experiencing it, hit me up with it. And yeah, Silvas, episode 2 dropped today. Episode 2 of the GG's podcast covers PC versus mobile gaming from a game design perspective. It covers monthly arc cycles versus quarterly, etc. What's going to be more prevalent in gaming here in the future. It goes into the detail of why Scopely is the way they were and gives you a little STFC history lesson. For those that don't know, STFC did not always used to be a monthly update cycle game. It used to be a quarterly update cycle game, and we go through a little bit of the history of that. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, well, enjoy. And if you're not, go enjoy the podcast anyway. It's on our website, revduce.com. So I'll have to check to see if there's an update on the launcher for PC. There should be, Rob, as there was one for me yesterday. There's actually an update they rolled out almost right after the maintenance update. So some people ended up downloading both of them at the same time. So Bartman, great to see you. Welcome in. Ryan says, lots of whale grief from my server about OPC Reliant hunting. I love the tears and the shouting from the demigods of Amex/Visa/MasterCard. Let me say this, and I've said very openly that I appreciate that there are people who spend a lot of money in this game because that allows me to play free to play on most of my servers. Now, this account did get the Reliant, as you can see. I purchased it with my own money, so it's technically not free to play. But sorry, I'm just joking. I've hit a lot of 70s is what I'm saying. I've hit a lot of 70s. We'll show you on my other account when we switch on over. So, but I'll also tell you this. Conflict is designed. Like, this game is supposed to have conflict. It's how Star Trek is. I know a lot of people talk about Star Trek being idealist and there not being conflict in war, but basically every series includes conflict. That's kind of, it'd be a pretty boring show if just every episode they went to different moons and cataloged various types of fauna. I mean, it just wouldn't be fun. So, by design, there's actually supposed to be OPC hunting with Reliance. There's supposed to be that potential for conflict, but we'll see how long that lasts. Gabe, good to see you, man. It's been a minute. I would tell you this, and I actually said this to game design this morning as I was passing along feedback. I said, as a G3 and G4 player, it can be really good to buy into the Reliant early. And if you're a higher level player, maybe not as much. What do I mean by that? Well, what's the reason to buy a Reliant? Well, that number one has to be answered. So the obvious answer for many is going to be, I want to get more credits. Cool. I want to save 100 days, right? Both valid things, right? If you want to save 100 days of grind, you buy it. That's the biggest one, number one. And then there's the biggest thing that is, in my opinion, leading to the highest sales we've ever seen in the first 24 hours, the nostalgia factor. It's Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan, the greatest movie ever. The greatest Star Trek movie ever. People want it because it's the Reliant, right? But if we're talking about what has value, if you're getting it as a higher level, like you want higher level claims, yes, the Reliant Mega Claim, again, you can do this every day. The higher tier you go, the more you get, right? So I'm getting, this every single day. I can double pull it to double up on what I'm getting. But if you've already got the Glavin, if you've already got Dry Dock G, if you've already got the Officers, if you've already got Quantum Slipstream, if you've already got Tantalus Field, now again, I'm just talking to all of our heavy spinners in the chat. If you've already got all the things, then the Reliant's not really helping you. right? Like if you are, say, I'm just going to use an example because I know there's a one in the chat. I see him. I'm not calling him out by name until he speaks up. But there's a level 66 in the chat right now that I purposely, like I individually know because I've talked to them about their account that has Quantum Slipstream. They have Tantalus. They've already got the Dry Dock. They've got the Glavin. They got it a long time ago. They have most of these officers. What would be the point in buying the Reliant to get that stuff? They already have all the unlocks. Now, that doesn't mean they have everything. For one, I love the Priority 1 improvements that this comes with. But, and I love how Erwin's saying 66 is a baby. If you're 66, you're no joke in like the top 2% of all ops players in this game. You're at the very top. So it just depends on what has value to you. The biggest one is the time saving, knowing that it has a 100-day free-to-play path. Do you want to save that time? That's what you have to come down to. Will you please stop? I have to get a new light. This thing's been going out for weeks. Bro, what's your problem? Thank you. Thing's been going out for weeks. I gotta get a new light. How it is sometimes. Or it's possessed. Either way, we gotta get a new one. So, as you can see, I'm grinding out, and this is a level 32 account, and it's helping me get my work done on a loop that I could not do. Now, I will say this for a G3 player, that's kind of your benefit. Now you can actually do the loop, which is something that maybe you weren't able to do at all before, right? Hit the Cons Champion event. We'll talk about that secret meta here in a second. Look at the Cons Champion event. Rev has completed all the things. The Alliance helped me do this one, right? I did this one because I've been doing the Priority 1 away teams and everything else, the other away teams, but I also did it. Fun fact, if you're listening, please hear me. You can use your away teams, sure, but do not miss this right here. Trait XP. You can finish this event by spending Trait XP. So if everybody's like, Rev, this is impossible, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You don't have to do the Priority 1 missions. Trait XP. Trait XP. Do your Trait XP. So, but as you can see, on this account, I completed the Augment Champion, which was a 5-day event, no problem. So, as a lower level, that's kind of what you have to decide for yourself. Is it worth it? And go from there. And of course, Rev has not finished the mining one yet because, well, it's a mining one. So, that assumes you have sufficient Trait XP. Well, here's the thing, Anhani. Unless you're spending Trait XP every day, you should have a little bit stocked up. And because it's a 6-day event, if you just do your dailies, you probably got some. Again, you've got time to figure it out. There's really no excuse to not do it if you're G4 and above. If you're G3, the Trait XP can be a little bit more difficult. There are a lot of ways to get Trait XP in the game, especially G4 and above. So it just depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're at, right? The hardest one in that event cycle, in my opinion, is going to be the hostile one. Because if you don't have the Reliant, or if you don't have a high-tiered Reliant, if you're a higher level player, you're probably going to struggle to get those hostiles hit, because remember, you're required to, or you're expected to hit hostiles of your ops level. So if you're a level 56, you're not supposed to be hitting level 50s. You're supposed to be hitting level 56s. Now, I'm not telling you whether you should or shouldn't. I'm just letting you know that's what the expectation is. You should be hitting that. All right, quick reminders before we get into the deeper parts of the content. Chrono, great to see you, my friend. Love you, appreciate you. We're going to show off your graph here in a bit. I'll give numbers. The graph can give pictures, right? That's how we can work it. Good, good. Reminder real quick, though, if you have not already, go to STFC.com. It's actually StarChefLeagueman.com. Mission key. This is your reminder from Rev Deuce. Claim your mission key. And if you were on server 710 with me in the Horde Alliance, collect your mission key. There's event store currency lock behind this month. Every alliance should be trying to max this out by collecting their mission key. So if you haven't already, collect your mission key. Here's your reminder. There you go. What's a good second crew for Augment Space after Janeway Dock in Paris? Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds. Just collect your mission key. Good job, Grad Makeda. Your alliance, I'm sure, appreciate you. All right. Let's jump in. Are y'all ready to talk numbers? Who's ready to talk numbers? Y'all ready to talk numbers? Y'all want to see in the first 24 hours how many Reliants are out there? It's crazy stuff. Y'all ready? And I appreciate you, Silvas. Frederick's ready? Good. Because I'm going to show it to you whether you want me to or not. Boom! Over 14,000 in 24 hours. For reference, Here's what the others have done in 48 hours. The Revenant, the NSCA. Remember we talked about the Revenant and the NSCA being like so liked? They were compared to Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look, would you look at that? That's called size shaming. 24 hours. The thing is on pace. If we calculate that second day purchases for the ship are going to be less than first day, I expect it to end around between 17 and 18,000. Maybe getting as high as 20K. Craziness. Again, we're just talking about the first 48 hours. That's not even long term, right? So my prediction was that this ship would make between 3 and 5 total gross revenue by itself, nothing else. Well, you're staring at about 1.5 right here in 24 hours. So there you go. Congrats to all those who designed the ship. So there it is. There it is. Craziness. They had an Oberth skin. Would you guys get it? Personally, no. I've never had the connection to the Oberth class that some other people do. But I think one thing that we probably all agree on is one of the biggest reasons that this bar is so tall is not the Reliant ability. I have actually no issue with the Reliant design, to be very clear. I'm not talking trash about the Reliant design. I'm saying that what drove a lot of this is the fact that it's so much of a lot of our childhoods and memories and nostalgia, right? Why did Rev do it? Why did Rev get this? Because it's the USS Reliant, NCC 1864, prefix code 16. It's my favorite Star Trek movie of all time. That's why, right? It's as simple as that. Now, is it helping my loop on 32? Absolutely. It's actually helping my loop on server 20 because I'm OPC hunting so many of them. But that's a lot of ships. Nemesis, good to see you. Welcome in. There had better be a refit Constitution class at least coming. Maybe at some point, Mike Cat. Maybe at some point. How can you complete these Starfleet secret missions which have just come out? Big Mad, we are going to talk about that a little bit. So the main thing that you need to go collect is actually in your choice rewards token. That's like the first part of it. So it's just another Easter egg style hunt. For those who haven't gotten like the first bit or found it yet, if you go to your event store, hit your choice rewards, scroll all the way to the end, you're going to find the Starfleet stash, right? So it's just this type of looking around, finding things. And yo, Hank's Corner, thank you so much, my friend, for being a member here on the YouTube channel. Welcome in. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. So yeah, if you just go ahead and claim that, that'll get you going. I'll get you progress. So it's just a little Easter egg hunt for the secrets meta to go through. And thank you, Gabe. The merch site is my website, revnews.com. Apologies for not having that up and ready to go, but I don't have any bots working over here. So complete that one. Then you have quest one. So you have to discover one. Then you have to do something. Those filthy transports, a requirement for security codes. If you haven't like caught what that is, it coincides with my Battle Pass event, Eclipse security codes. So yeah. And you can go grind those out. And there'll be a different one every day throughout the meta. And the meta, as you can see, lasts 14 days. So something to pay attention to. We'll be going through that. Normally, I would have like a video saying, hey, here's all the answers. Because this is such a long process, we'll talk about it multiple times over the next week or so. So there you go. And I've actually got to do that because many of you, for your Battle Pass on your main accounts, have got, X-Borg. Well, because this is a level 32 account, I do not have X-Borg. I have to clear the coast. I gotta clear the coast. Tim Davis, thank you so much for loving on the channel. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the love and support. It's because of people donating we were able to give away 5 battle passes yesterday. And just to let y'all know, Friday night on Twitch, if y'all come by, we're giving away 2 Reliants. Yes, we're giving away $200 for the USS Reliant. So be at the stream Friday night, you might win. Silvis, you might win. And if you win the Reliant, you have to come back to the game to play it. That's a requirement, Silvis. That's a requirement. Priority 1 away team missions have an easy and hard, where you almost need twice the stats to reach 100%. Is this a similar disparity between rarity? It does get harder, yes, Gun. This is why the new researches are so important, and I covered those new researches when talking about the priority 1s. I actually just hit a epic critical success. Epic critical success on my level 60 account, and that helped almost finish that event. I had to do a little bit of trade XP on top of it, but that was super nice. Super nice. So I started a new account. I'm on Ops 13. I have the BP overflow, but not the battle pass. So Katinga, level 20 and below no longer get the standard battle pass. Thank you, Lost Soul. Thank you, Benji Bear. See both of you, greatly appreciate you. If y'all want to donate, there's the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Never required, always appreciated. Thank you very, very much for loving on the family. But level 20 and below no longer get the standard battle pass. Okay, they no longer get that one. They have their own special pass and stuff that might come out, but a lot of what they're doing now is to help escalate people up to 20 and above very quickly. So if we have like Wrath of Khan, you do not have a Wrath of Khan battle pass anymore. You have a special new pass. You have a special new pass. Davey says, I like the Arc event stores to catch up on things, but I'm a little disappointed this Arc is only 2 parts. Could have been so much more. I agree. And again, this is I was talking to game design this morning, but I actually brought that up yesterday morning. So I'm just saying that so that y'all know when y'all have feedback, I make sure to push it. I think that some things should have grander stories. And, you know, to a degree, the 2-month arcs and the shorter arcs with event stores at the end has been because of player feedback. So to be very clear, before anybody like gets mad, the reason you're getting 2-month arcs, shorter content cycles, because this is what players asked for, to be very clear. But I think there should be exceptions to that rule, right? For example, to me, Wrath of Khan is a disappointment, not because I think the content itself is bad. I have had issues with some of the events. I don't personally have big issues with the content itself. There are little things that I dislike, but as a whole, I don't dislike Augment Exiles and the Augment expansion. But it's Wrath of Khan, yet I don't get a Constitution class refit. Yet I don't get Admiral Kirk fighting against Khan. I don't get that, right? There's just so many elements of the greatest Star Trek movie ever missing. So, and like, I don't dislike Fleet Commander Khan, but like the key element was Khan being the nemesis to Kirk and Kirk struggling with his mortality. The entire theme of Wrath of Khan is that Khan is making Kirk face the Kobayashi Maru. If you've never got that, that's the theme. Kirk is facing his own mortality, realizing that he's not immortal, he's going to die, and he gets put into an unbeatable scenario, and he beats it. Like, Wrath of Khan is such an amazing story, not to mention the submarine warfare, and yet we didn't get that in the arc. Right, and I know I'm putting it up as a personal expectation, right? I'm putting personal expectations in there, and maybe that's not fair, but it's the greatest Star Trek movie of all time with a compelling story that makes you think about your own life and the world around you, and the game didn't capture any of that. Now, I'm not saying that there's bad things. Fleet Commander Khan is a great fleet commander. The Reliant is a very good ship. It will drastically speed up your acquisition. And if you're a G3, G4 player, I really encourage y'all to go after it. But it didn't feel like Wrath of Khan. It just felt like an arc with Wrath of Khan paint job. And I'm really not trying to say this as like a degrading them. I feel like there's some storylines that need fleshing out, that you have to go the extra effort on. And I don't feel like that happened this time. And that doesn't mean that I feel like from a game balancing standpoint that the new hostiles are bad or anything. There's so much to Wrath of Khan that makes it special that you don't have here. Exactly what Frederick said. How we deal with death is at least as important as how we face life. You know, there's so many great quotes from that movie and lessons you can learn about life. Like, you can watch that movie at 20 and you feel something different than when you watch it at 40, I assume. I'm not 40 yet, but many of you are, got gray salt, pepper hair. So I need the game to feel more like that. Did you read the mission story? Believe it or not, Erwin, I actually read a lot of the story last night. Yes, I did. I'm curious what you thought, Erwin, but I did read a lot of this. So my main thing is I feel like we missed a little bit here that could have been given. Again, I'm not saying the content was bad, but I put really high expectations up for Wrath of Khan. And to be clear, I don't even think the storyline was a bad storyline. I do dislike that the storyline was locked behind level 38 and above. Like, why is the ship level 26, but the story is up there? I don't think it was a great story, but it wasn't a bad story. It wasn't as good as Lower Decks Part 1 or the Packlet line, but I mean, it was good. But that's what I was missing, right? I was missing what made Wrath of Khan so iconic. I didn't get that in the 2-month arc. And I feel like if they would have stretched it out, you would have had that. A good example, right? The Genesis device. Let's talk about that because it's been available. Is the Genesis device any good? Well, let me be completely honest with you. As a game mechanic item, yeah, it's solid. But as a Star Trek fan, this has nothing to do with anything. Like, you would never even put this on the Reliant, right? Because you're not taking, this is for the Revenant. This is literally a CT for the Revenant. Like, that is what it's for. Why did we get the Genesis device to fight the Borg on the Revenant? Like, little things like that. Is this bad content? No. It's just another rare, not expensive, so you don't have to spend $100 for it, etc. It's just another game mechanic. But why? Bees Nut says, let's be honest, the content was bad. Live Ops didn't have much to work off, but decided to make it worse. See, I strongly disagree with that. I don't think the content's bad at all. I just don't think it lived up to the movie. I don't think the content's bad. I just think the content didn't live up to the movie. Now, I personally have a huge issue with how Live Ops decided to run the 2 months. That's just my personal experience as a player. That's just me. Erwin, it is. You've got an event store. Event stores wrap up an arc. So, yeah, that's just where I'm at. Like I said, there's a lot of good here if you're just talking about playing the game as a game. But there's also some misses, right? And again, like, the Reliant is still a solid, I would definitely recommend getting. And I would say this, it has more utility starting out than the Borg Cube did. As in the Reliant, if you're getting it truly at 26, you can use it at 26 as like your ship. If you wanted to. I'm not saying you should, but you could, right? Like, it has a lot of perks to it that you normally don't get in an early special ship, and it tiers up really high. We've seen these things get into the billions already because, as you can predict, there are people who have spent a lot of money on this ship. And I mean a lot of money. I mean more money than Rev makes in a month. Okay, not that much. But I think the max out cost, and for those G6 players here, hey, Hot Tom, what's up, man? How you doing? For those G6 players that are here, that have mathed it out, I think it's $2,100 to buy in max. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the cost. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it $2,100? Because they went back to the old method. $2,300. Thank you. So for those that don't know, they went back to the old method where there's no longer ship parts in the initial buy and stuff like that. They had come out with recently a newer method, especially ships, where you spent like $100 and it took you up several tiers. Nay, not anymore. Not on this one. This one's a $2,300 to max ship. Now, Pirate Princess says that's the problem. You're comparing it to the movie. Completely fair. I will fully acknowledge that I am coming at this and my paradigm is built around I am a die-hard Trekkie. My only rebuttal to you, Pirate Princess, is I would argue, as are most people playing Star Trek Fleet Command. Now, to be fair, cue the cliche playline. To be fair, this is a game that's not canon. It's not meant to be canon. It doesn't pretend to be canon. It's not canon. I mean, I've got 2 freaking Beverly Crushers and an Enterprise E data on it. I mean, it's not meant to be canon. But it does affect how people will view things, right? That's just going to naturally happen. It's going to affect how people view things, right or wrong. That's just going to be a natural byproduct of content coming into the game. So, but $2,300 to max it out because they went back to the older style, which is also another reason that I think that it's going to be really up there. Dude, Brigadier Jones, thank you so much for donating to the channel. Sending out 2 memberships to Jason and yourself. Welcome. Y'all got special stuff next to your name. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate that. Also, I'm gonna give a shout out to Henry donating to me and my family. I'll put it up on the board here in a second. Thank you very much, Henry. Very kind of you. And thank you to Jeffrey for helping with the new light. I love that, Jeffrey. Thank you. You didn't even know how much it costs. Just like, hey, New light. Yeah, that thing won't stop going out. But I appreciate you both for donating. And Man of War, it has been a while. How are you doing? Good to see you. Please explain that Reliant crew. Oh, I can, because I know everybody's about to be like, Rev, what the heck are you doing? That crew makes no sense. Let me explain the Reliant crew. Number one, I'm not saying I recommend this crew. To be very clear, Rev is not recommending this crew to you. Why is Rev running this? Because I have a primary grind crew, Pipe Row Chin, that's currently doing my dailies, right? But I still want my Reliant to be out there auto grinding. So what did I do? I threw on Beverly Crusher for the shield health and for the below deck. And then I have Enterprise E Data, which is ISO Cascade. Now the thing about the Reliant is it really doesn't need much help. The Reliant's abilities are strong enough to take down, you know, the D7s and stuff kind of by itself. I'm just giving it a little bit of extra oomph. For this, it just simply comes down to me not having anything else, right? Like I'm a Junior said, Spike, Lorca, Khan. I don't have Spike or Lorca. I do have Khan. He's a primary away team officer. So this is like why I'm always like, hey, you got to remember that everybody doesn't have what you have. Level 32 doesn't have any of that. I have some things, but I don't have those things. Right now, I do have some good stuff, to be clear. Look at my below decks. I've got Mirror Picard, I've got Mirror Data, I've got Picard Hugh, I've got Pelia, I've got Cisco, I've got Miles. So it's not like I'm doing bad with officers. I'm doing okay. I don't have all of them unlocked, because as you're progressing through the game, you get those things and then you take them for granted later because you're like, I've got all the things. But when you're level 32, you're like, crud, how do I load out 2 ships? And you're sitting there going, what abilities can, you know, help and benefit to something like Reliance? This is definitely not like a, hey, copy Rev, right? I'm not telling you that this is a primo crew that you should copy. I'm telling you this is what I have because I have other things being used. And then what is more important than having a second great hostile crew, and again, I'm just giving you advice. If you're a G3 player, please listen. What's more important than having a great second hostile crew? Having great away teams crews. Having great away teams crews. You need great away teams crews because you need to success all these. And more importantly, you hope to critical as many of these as you can. So that's why I don't have, like, you're like, Rev, what the heck is 2 Crushers and an E-Data doing? There you go. That's why. Because Pipe and Road Chin is on the primary boat doing the daily grind, and then that's good enough for my Reliant to grind and get currencies. So, yeah. At Ops 31, I really struggle with officers, and when I ask in Alliance or anywhere else, I get a list of officers I don't have. And see, Mr. Drago, this is why I love having this stream, to try to help you in those situations. If you're sitting there saying, hey man, I don't know what to do, well, reach out to me because I'll try to build a crew even if you don't have it. Now, I'll still tell you what you should focus on. Like, for example, if you're in the 30s, you should have Pike. That means you should have Pike Moreau. No questions asked. You should have it. And you might go, Rev, I don't. Okay, now I need to find out why you don't have it. What did you miss? How can I help you? Right? But you should have it. Like, and I'm not shaming anybody here. If you're level 32 and you're like, Rev, I don't have that, I'm not trying to shame you, but you should have picked that up on the way. There is a completely 100% free-to-play guaranteed way you have it before you're in the 30s. It's just, did you do the steps? And if you didn't, that's fine. We'll find a way to do the steps. We'll make it happen. But I don't want to give you a list of like, because I know this happens a lot. And again, none of this is shade. This is just players having different experiences and being in different places in their growth. I have a lot of players who, even if a low level asks what crew do I use, they'll say things like Janeway, Doc, Enterprise E Data. And I'm like, you can't source that in G3. You don't get Janeway like that. That's not how it works. So you just take your time, make sure you understand who you're talking to, and try to help them with where they're at. Don't just give them the copy paste. Hey, I'm level 60. I'm rocking Janeway, Doc, you know, Anorax, and I'm killing it. You got to make sure that everybody else is coming along with you. So, yeah. Let's see. Do you find on your server that your ship dies the hostiles, or do you get popped by other players? On this one, both. Both happen. You know, it just depends on how much OPC I've garnered. Now, I hunt OPC heavily on server 20. In fact, I'm about to show y'all some of the hits I've gotten. But yeah, OPC is OPC. You know, this game is a game that has conflict in it. I know not everybody likes conflict. I get that. But it's a game that has conflict, and I relish in OPC hunting. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And with this account being an account I normally don't spend money on, this is the first time this account's ever had a $100 purchase. The only thing I had purchased before this Reliant was the extra builder and extra dock. Extra builder and extra researcher. I don't have the extra dock. So because of that, you know, I've got to get all my pulls, all my isogen pulls, all my map pulls, all my augment pulls. I OPC hunt. It helps you. That's what I do. Not everybody likes it. I respect that not everybody likes it, but that's what I do. So, Swordman Josh says we just started a war on server 98 so we can have some fun conflict. Well, I hope you enjoy it, as long as it doesn't become toxic. I don't want toxicity, but I hope it becomes fun. With conflict comes possible compromise. Yeah. And look, I'll tell you directly, this is straight from game design. The Reliance OPC, as in like the Reliance cargo size, is intended. They did not want for you to have a ship that had massive cargo with also massive protected cargo. It's got a pretty good balance, right? It's a solid balance. You know, it's anywhere, depending on what level you are, you might have 10%, you might have a little bit more, you might have 20%. You are supposed to go OPC. In fact, a direct quote. I'll read it to you. I will literally read a direct quote because they said I could share. In fact, they said I could make merch out of the quote. So don't be shocked if you see Rev making merch out of the quote that I'm about to read to you. But I'm about to read to you. This is a direct quote about the Reliant. Like the dynamic of a living space that can generate conflict, that is Trek, enable the pirates. Again, it's just how it is. Now, not everybody's going to agree with that playstyle, and that is 100% okay. But it is intended for the Reliant to be OPC hunted. It is by design for you to go out and OPC hunt Reliance. That's the design. So, but the good news is the Reliant has really healthy PC. You can get a ton, even if you're just sitting there. Just like the Monavine, people auto grind on an OPC. Exactly, Scott. Exactly. Sound like you're back in the CC realm? No, I told y'all that me leaving the CC program would not mean I magically stop talking to game design, VIP community managers, live ops. I told y'all that wasn't going to happen. Y'all didn't believe me. I told you nothing's going to change. I'm going to keep going. I'm not stopping. I'm not going anywhere. All right. Major Samo says that's why I go full protected cargo crew. Major Samo, fun little tidbit. The game designer I'm talking to, that's what he does on his Reliant on his server. Full protected cargo crew. That's what he does. He runs a full PC crew on the Reliant, sends it out. And if he hits OPC, whatever. So, you know, you make fun of Samo over there. Samo's literally doing what game design's doing. So it sounds like Samo's ahead of the curve. Sounds like Samo's ahead of the curve. Chris says, I won't be using mine because of this OPC issue. And see, Chris, I don't understand that. Why would you not? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not that I'm trying to call you out. I actually want you to explain to me. What's your logic there? Because I don't understand and I want to learn. What's your logic for not using the ship because you can OPC hunt it? I don't understand the logic. You're still getting more currency than you would normally get, and it costs you nothing but, no, it doesn't even cost you time because it automatically does it. It's an auto grinder. You don't even have to touch it. You just set it out there and let it go. Is there any way to buy things from the store from a third-party store instead of directly from the store? No. No, chat. There's not. At least not that I'm aware of. And anything like that would probably be against the TOS anyway. So. Scott says having Syndicate Max and Felon helps to auto-grind the Reliant 600% protected cargo. And see, like Samo was saying, you can do Borg to Pring, what is it? 8 of 11? Which one is that? Is it 8 of 11 is the protected cargo one? Right? There's I think 7 protected cargo officers in the game today. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of protected cargo officers. 3 of 11. Thank you. Thank you. So, I recalled you did some sponsorship. So, okay, so Chad, those are still working with Scopely. So, for example, I did a partnership with Amazon for Amazon Coins. Amazon has their own app store, which all that is really meaning is in those instances, you are paying for, they're just handling the monetary transactions. So Scope is getting their money and it's still official, right? But Amazon might run a deal where you can get more coins, which I guess is you can call third party, but you're still paying money for it. I mean, I guess if you find a way to like get around, save whatever money you can. But I've never taken a sponsorship for something that was like shady. And here's what I would call shady. And some people might disagree. An example of like something I would not take a sponsorship with is like G2 keys, right? Where they take keys that you would get off Steam. Like maybe you'd buy a game for $60, but you can go buy it for $2 off that key store. I don't do stuff like key stores, right? But if it's an actual legitimate app store, yeah, I'll promote that. Yeah, exactly. It's like using Google Rewards money. It's not funny money. It's legit. It's just who's in charge of the transaction. And Amazon wants to be in charge of the transaction. For those that don't know why, here's why companies like Amazon want you to use their app store. Because Google and Apple get 30% of every transaction. So if you buy a USS Reliant on your phone, that means, well, for me, Google got $30 immediately. That means Scopely immediately lost $30. So that's why all these companies like Amazon want their own store. Because everybody wants to get in on the very lucrative pie. That's why. That's also why Scopely partnered with Exela and created the web store, right? So I'm currently playing on the PC client. And if you purchased a pack here, it is through the web store, which is a company called Exela. Exela is who manages a lot of big games like World of Warcraft. And they take, I think, 6%, so 24% less than Google and Apple. So Scopely makes a lot more money. Now, that is also why multi-phasics were invented. Because now your dollar is still equal. So that way, if you purchase something here, your $100 is not giving you more than that other person's $100 is, because your actual dollar to dollar is going the same distance based on how much Scopely is making versus how much a player is getting. Now, that's a real rabbit hole we're diving down into, but that's why and how things work the way they work. Today you learned. Today you learned in gaming. So here I need to go up a system real quick, finish this out, and we'll recall. Have you covered today's Starfleet secret metas SMS? Quest 1? Yes. Go grind Eclipse traders. Paula says multi-phases with Scopely way to not make the Exela buy get cheaper. No, it's more of it's Scopely's way to make sure that Apple and Google don't sue them for offering different price and value to what they're offering on the App Store. It's about keeping things balanced. So it's about keeping things balanced. Now, how the new Apple case handles things, Jim, because as you pointed out, we actually talk about this in the podcast, how that gets handled. We'll see if that changes things. We'll see if that changes things. But obviously they want to incentivize people to use Exela, and it also covers their butts so that Apple and Google can't be like, well, you're offering a completely different deal, taking away our money. So that's why it works the way it works. What about the secret event that says to buy the Battle Pass? So no, it's not to buy the Battle Pass, Peggle. The secret event is if you go into your choice rewards. I've already collected it, so I can't show it again. But if you go into your choice rewards, scroll to the very end, that's where you get the Starfleet stash, and that's today's thing. When is the Rev payment portal coming out? It's already here. It's called revdeuce.com, where you can get access to exclusive things like merch discounts. You can get exclusive access to our podcast, where we actually just talked about Scopely again and how things work behind the scenes. You get access to movie night, all those things at revdeuce.com. Yeah, we just watched Undiscovered Country, by the way, for movie night, for those who weren't here this past Sunday. Brian says, while Play Store takes a third of the cost, Scopely does not make the packs bigger for their store, so Scopely gets more for the same stuff, so why bother? Fix the glitches and they deserve more. Well, we actually covered that topic today as well. So if y'all listen to the podcast, we covered why Scopely cannot leave the month-to-month model and why taking a month off would kill the game. And it wasn't me saying it. You got it from the head system engineer at EA telling you why that's just simply not possible. So give it a listen. Give it a listen. Paulo says, I have Brazil price on the iPhone, one on Android, and one on PC. So basically, Paulo is acknowledging that he's committing fraud, but thankfully, we don't know where Paulo lives. Is it just me, or is the event store currency ridiculously good so far? It is high so far. In fact, if y'all would like to see where the numbers are, but keep in mind, this is week one. So you can't just sit there and extrapolate and say, oh, week one, we've gotten a crazy amount. No, slow it down. But week one is over 100,000 free to play. Like it's, I think 114 free to play, not counting leaderboards, nothing else, 114,000. So where can we check out the podcast? RevDeuce.com. RevDeuce.com. 150 bucks Canadian for a ship purchase, definitely not worth it. And yeah, hey, I've always said, if you don't think that it's worth it for you, don't do it. I'm not here to sell packs for Scopely. That's not my job. It's even less of my job now that I'm not partnered with them anymore. No, spend because you want to, not because you have to. You're going to hear me saying that a lot forever. Spend because you want to, not because you have to. So, but yeah, we are, here is our total so far. Boop. Need to move this over a little bit. There we go. So here's where we're at so far. Shout out to those who helped do this in. And I think me and Tarpy are the ones doing it the most at the moment. But shout out to Jules, shout out to DJ, everybody who's helped on this process. But this is a publicly available spreadsheet. Anybody can check it at any given time if you would like to. And we go over everything here. So far, again, we're only on technically day 2. So 2 days, 114,000 currency. Crazy numbers. Keep in mind, a lot of it is behind a 6-day event. So don't expect every day to come out with juicy currency. In fact, I don't think we've updated today's, but I don't think there's an event store. I don't think there's any currency event today. No, there is a currency event today that I haven't even put in yet. So I've got to put that in after stream. Silvis, if you would be so kind as to remind me, I'll have to update this after stream. We haven't even put in today's stuff yet. So lots of currency. Hopefully that continues. And I've been giving them praise for their event stores the past couple times around because they're finally getting to good numbers as far as what I would call a good number. So every time I spend any money on this game, I feel a sense of dread, like I got ripped off. Yeah, don't do that. I don't want you to feel that way. I want you, if you buy something in this game, I want you to enjoy it. I really mean that. And if you don't enjoy it, please don't spend. I don't want anybody doing that because they feel pressured or have to. Spend because you want to, not because you have to. All right, let me recall this. Then we're going to send our Reliant out, and then we're going to switch accounts. We are going to also look at a couple player accounts today because we do that on Wednesday. Today's just been a very, very big news month. So, Ironic says, you are not alone, Rev, in feeling that so much is left on the table that this particular art can really inject some fun back into the game while making the money. I agree. And again, I like the content. I personally like content that has a bit of a challenge. This content does. And this content says, hey, if you're not here, you need to work towards it. I ignore the ops up part of it because I don't think that's the fix all for everything. But I like content that takes strategies. The same way I love the solo waves. I love elite solo waves because it gives me milestones to work towards, but I might have serious issues with the grind event. The example that I used today when talking with the team was if you are level 60 and you can't hit 60s, you would have to hit, I've got it actually right over here, 576 hostiles if you were to be hitting the 56s. So now that might not seem like a lot, but that's basically 100 hostiles a day just in exile space to finish your event if you are a weaker 60. So how many Reliants did you buy? I bought one Reliant. It's the USS Reigns because Corey was very kind and he donated for me to get a Reliant. So I have one Reliant. It's that one right there. I do not have one on my main account. They cost a lot of money, and Rev has family stuff that he puts his money towards. Some people will say, hey, Rev, here's money to go buy a ship. and then I will use that for the ship. Thank you, High Tone, by the way, for $20. Appreciate you donating to the family. So in those cases, if somebody says, hey, I'm sending you $100, you are to get this ship, then I will. But I've only got the reins right over there, all thanks to Corey being kind of generous. So my gut is telling me another Wrath of Konark is coming this year that includes some form of Armada / Entity and Enterprise B ship for it. Well, I definitely think that Wrath of Khan feels unfinished, and I would love to see more fleshed out for it. So, more fleshed out for it. Ultravetica, great to see you, my friend. Yeah, there was some guy that was talking about 2025 hostiles versus 2020 hostiles. I wonder who it was. How you doing, Ultravetica? Those that don't know, Ultra is another one of our content creators over on Twitch. He streams, and he's in New Zealand, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Laos. I don't know, but he's over on the other side of the world that nobody cares about. So if you're in that world that nobody cares about, hang out with him. Another British colony, I know, right? Just kidding. We love all the Kiwis in Australia. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. We love all the Kiwis in Australia. So, shout out. That's quite a swim. Very much. Just saying, the Wrathcon officers have a lot of wave defense bonuses for not being a wave defense arc. So I actually did bring that up, and that honestly, and I know it's not an exciting answer, but that really comes down to, and this is just some of game design's opinion, that they need, and they said this, they need fresh takes for things like that. And what they mean is, we have officer abilities for like everything now, like everything. Now, I did bring up the below deck warp range that so many of you bug me about all the time. I cannot. There's so many of you out there who are like, Rev, below deck warp range all the time. And let me tell you, Scopely has like one half of the room that thinks that's the worst idea ever, and another half of the room that goes, that makes sense, we should do it. So not everybody at Scopely agrees that that's a good idea. So we definitely push that. Like, I want people to know the feedback. But I brought it up multiple times, and every time I brought it up, I'll talk to one person who says that's a stupid idea, it's game breaking, it's terrible, and another person says, yeah, that makes sense, because why does the NX-01 have a warp range greater than the Enterprise D? Like, some people get it, and some people agree, some people disagree, working at Scopely. So until we get more people on the agreeing side, it just is what it is. But I will continue to bring up feedback that y'all bring that isn't just like, oh, damn them, they're evil and greedy. You know, as long as it's good feedback, I'm happy to shoot ideas. Yeah. You'd love to see hazard resistance below deck ability. Well, you did kind of get, I mean, you didn't get it as an ability, but you just got a generic hazard resistance this month. Did you upgrade the warp node on the Reliant to go to warp 50? I did, Ozu. So the first upgrade of the warp node takes you to warp 50. So that's how I did that to get to Cestus right now. So, yeah, the new FT that just got released will boost your warp range. So, you know, there are just some conversations that are difficult. Not that I'm saying that Scopely's like stubborn and wrong. I can understand where they're coming from, because let's just say you were a level 25 and you did happen to get that officer that had the great below deck warp range ability, and now suddenly your Vidar has a warp range of 120. You know, like, does that make sense in the game design and the climate of the game? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. You know, should that be okay? I mean, we can, again, this stream is not necessarily to debate that thing, but there are legitimate arguments for and against certain ideas that people will have. So, Forgotten says, I'm just salty about G6 rare miners and Gorn Eviscerators can't reach their respective 70 systems. Yeah. Definitely get where y'all are coming from. 100%. Not saying y'all are wrong. I'm just simply pointing out the conversations as they happen and letting y'all know that I do talk to them to give them that conversation. Like, I want them to, you know what y'all are asking for, and then they have to decide whether they deem it worthy of being put in. Oh, wow. Oh, I might be able to beat that. Actually not even might. I know I can beat that. What about this one? Anyway, we're gonna go let that farm, and now we're going to swap over to server 20 real quick so I can show you what really gets me just like giddy. And that's OPC hunting these things. Man, that's been fun. Because you need so much currency, right? You need so much. And keep in mind, this account does not have the Reliant. So for me to get the currency I need, OPC hunting is helping. It's helping. So, and one of the things that game design talked to me about this morning, because I was saying, hey man, I really appreciate that this is this way. And look, they talked about one of the benefits can be is that you can punch up on a much higher level. And it's a way to, get some good loot. Here, gosh, I've been farming so much. Looking for, see, this is bugging me. Why are some of these names not showing up with their levels? Oh gosh, come on. Give me my levels and stuff in my alliances. See, like Team FL, 64s. And again, I'm not talking negatively about it. Let's talk about Gami. Look at this. 1.7 million plus 39K uncommon. Like, oh, dude. Just gets me going. Like, it just gets me excited. Level 67. 3 million. Like, just, woo! Good. I woke up early this morning to go out and do this. So to be very clear, like, Rev, like, woke up for this. Not the right ship, but I stole him. That's not a Reliant, but still, I OPC hunted. Was it this one? No, that's where he got me. He came and hunted me because I was hunting. And that's just part of it. If you go out there OPC hunting, please know you're not, like, immune to damage. You're not immune to damage. Here's one of my big ones. 53,000 uncommon, 5.95 million common splicers. Right? So just in the past 24 hours, I have OPC hunted 10 days of full pulls on common splicers. 10 days of full pulls on common splicers. Why not use the Talios? This is bigger. Like, with a huge cargo. So 13 million cargo and it's bigger. Got more oomph in it. Exactly, didn't we? And look, there was a player who got really frustrated with me yesterday. And I was just straight with it. I don't know if the DMs are still there. Yeah, it's Paul. Paul gets really frustrated with me because he doesn't like that OPC hunt. Every time this happens, he brings it up. Right? See? Says they heap them on you. I don't know what he means because I don't know. Nobody's heaping them on me. But here we go. Grind, not bring. But here's the thing. You get them your way, and I'll get them your way. It's my new quote. It's going to be on a pillow, right? You miners out there, you farmers, you get them your way, and I'll get them your way. I mean, this has always been my game style. This has always been my thing. Rev's going to OPC hunt. He's a dirty little pirate. And hopefully people know that about me if you don't already. I've said it before. Everybody's like, hey, Rev, the content's so great. Yeah, you think that until I'm playing with you. And then I hit you OPC for 6 million and you're salty. So keep that same energy. Now, Big Wolf Chris says, I don't like that they increased common splicer drops TVH a bit too much. Well, they increased everything, right? So uncommons increased and rares. And it's not that they increased them, they just pushed them to last longer, right? So you don't have a massive fall off as soon as you get into uncommon and commons don't exist anymore. So they didn't actually increase, they just simply kept it going. If that makes any sense. It's their fault for being so OPC. See, that's what I think. But some people don't agree. See, like that one, 800K, easy peasy, screaming, come touch me. What we got over here? What's this one got? Oh, yeah, no debate, no debate. Mine, yeah, no, we're not discussing this. Like, don't come to me like Rev. No, you were 2 million. Sorry, it's mine. I can understand. Hey, leave me alone. I'm just trying to grind. Nope, you got 2 million. If you got 200K, cool. Yeah, whatever. I'm being a butt if I hit you for 200K. Sitting there with 2 million. See this one? We're going to let him grow a little bit. We're going to let him get a little bit more. It's not enough. It's not enough. Yeah, 2 million? Mine. Take it home. Take it home. All right. Reach out to FW on server 20 when Rev is OPC hunting in August phase. We'll counter-snipe. He does. Like, shout out to Hightone. Hightone will come after me. And for those that don't know, I am not tough enough to take down Hightone yet. I don't have enough ISO. High tone will beat every ship that I have right now unless I use boost, right? And to be very clear, I want everybody to hear this, including pirates out there. If you do OPC hunting, you are not immune from retribution, reaction, etc. Know that what you're doing is going to put a target on your back. I know that high tones are going to come after me, and I encourage it. Please don't be that pirate out there who's like, I was just OPC hunting. Why did you hit me? No, you become a pirate. You should be chased, right? You're not immune, right? Now, don't do it while I'm streaming. That's the only thing I ask, high tone. Don't snipe me while I'm streaming. That's the only thing I ever ask. But yeah, rev hunting at 8 in the morning this morning, chase me down, 100%. See, 1.3, like, look at it. How am I going to resist? How am I going to resist? So, you have to throw back the small ones to fatten them up some more? Exactly, right? Exactly. But a lot of this is also just the fact that double pulls are so expensive, right? 4 million, that's not cheap. 4 million's a lot. That's a lot. So, how do I get that? By doing what I'm doing right now. Now, I will also say this, that I had one player who reached out to me and was like, hey, look, man, I'm just trying to get my daily done. I'm struggle bussing. And you give me a legitimate response, I'll leave you alone. Like, I'm not going to come target you if you're just trying to do the game, and is how it is. You have a lot of pips. I do have pips. This is correct. But yeah, shout out to High Tone, by the way. High Tone's hilarious. High Tone will come on here and donate 20 bucks and then go camp me for 3 hours. So shout out High Tone. High Tone was funny. I wasn't streaming it. This was just happening yesterday naturally. High Tone was like system jumping to chase me through the systems. Like, you're not hunting right now. Like, he was chasing me system to system, be like, nay, nay, bad pirate. And I had to run away, right? That's good gameplay to me. It might not be good gameplay to everybody, and I respect that. But to me, it's good gameplay. Like that cat and mouse game of, can I get it? Can I steal it? Can I do all? I like that. It's fun to me. So let's see. Is this one? See, 100K. I'm not going to ruin that person's day. 100K. Not going to touch it. That one's got nothing. 1 mil. Yeah, that seems good enough. That seems good enough. High Tone says, I will attest, Rev's not a salty pirate. And all I ever ask is, if you're going to be a pirate, please don't be a salty pirate. Understand that you hitting somebody probably going to get some type of retribution. Have fun with it, right? Have fun with it. High Tone, you weren't there, but I got Emperor Jew. For those that don't know, Emperor Jew is one of the level 70s on my server. I got him for a pretty juicy amount. And then what he do? He brought his Enterprise E to my base and flattened. And then what did I do? I went and hit another one of their level 70s in his alliance for another couple million and re-shielded it. So you gotta have fun, right? At the end of the day, it's a game. And I know this game loves to make it feel like it's a job, but I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have fun. You gotta have fun. Find something that is fun for you. Gotta find what's fun for you. So yeah, gotta find what's fun for you. Pirate says, I actually apologize when I hit someone when I OPC hunt and they don't hold it against me. I send the message, sorry, you're OPC, and they usually message back MP. I've said this before. I've made more friends and gotten to meet more people in this game via OPC hunting than anything else. Speaking of, here he is, and he's not OPC. Oh man, after I hit him, man, he was moving around a lot. Look, he put on a PC crew. Look, shout out to him. No shade thrown at him at all. Look at him. He's like, not anymore. We're not playing that game anymore. He said, nay, nay, you're done. No more. Leave me alone. I love it. I love it. Mateo says, if they come to my base, I go to their TC zones and hunt their OPC. There you go. Whatever is fun. All I ever ask is, don't be toxic. Don't be a butt. Be fun. It's a game. It's pixels. None of it matters and all of it matters at the same time. Why does it matter? Because there's real people behind the screen, right? High Tone is a real person, supposedly, right? You don't know. Maybe they're having a bad day, and that's why they lashed out at you one day in DMs. But they really don't care if you hit them OPC. Talk to people. Treat them like they're human. Have fun. Have fun. Are you a real person? No, I'm AI. I'm not real at all. Do we have the event calendar? We do, Eddie. In fact, we put it up on my Discord if you haven't joined my Discord already, and it's on the Facebook page, but I will put it up here on the screen in just a second. and we'll show you the entire calendar for the month, what we have so far. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Well, I hope so, because it's what we're going to do. Let me just look at a couple more systems, because I really want to find some more uncommon and rare. But no real person could be as ginger as Rev. That's awful. No, it's racist. It's terrible. All right. I'm going to get the calendar pulled up, and we will put this on the screen here in just a second. Yeah, a mission key reminder for everybody, as well as today is Zen Deep. Ooh, another 70. Oh, see, you got to fatten that one up. Armor of God. Oh, he made his own alliance. He made his own alliance. Another 70 down there. So, yeah, mission key reminder to everybody. And again, just treat everybody with kindness. Like, Pirate Princess is, you know, I'm assuming she, based on Princess. But she disagreed with me earlier. It's like, hey, Rev, you're an idiot for thinking that this game is going to be lore friendly. Right? We can have disagreements and still have fun together. I encourage that. Don't know why I felt the need to go on a big spiel about it, but there's been a lot of toxic things in STFC the past few weeks, and I guess I just wanted to make a little quick PSA. James says, same here. I don't do PvP at all, but I never complain about OPC hits. Yeah. And this is how I play. If I leave a miner or an auto grinder out overnight, I do it with the understanding I'm getting hit. And if I don't get hit, it's a pleasant surprise. Like if I leave a Reliant out, which I did last night on server 710, I do it with the expectation that's getting hit. It just is. It's getting hit. And if it doesn't, then I'm like, oh, wow, that's great. Same thing with a miner, etc. Somebody's going to use an excuse, oh, you were on a 0 node, which I personally think is the dumbest thing in the world in today's game. Like a 0 node matters when we have 1,000 of each node type now, but regardless, it doesn't matter. You know, if that's how it goes, is how it goes, and that's fine. Is Strange New World Pelly any good? Yes, Mr. Drogo. She absolutely is. Both in PvP and PvE, she has some uses. In fact, if you're one of those players who's maybe struggling with officer acquisition, you don't have a lot of these epics like Anorax, Pelly can actually be a good sidecar for fighting exiles, like using her officer ability. Just depends on who all you have. Let's see, that's an ally. Oh, that's nothing. And looks like, okay. Nobody seems to be up here, so we're going to go ahead and recall. I'm going to throw in a quick shield, and then we're going to take a look at the calendar for this month, presented by DW Viper. Shout out to DW Viper. Even though he's British, we still appreciate him. All right. And transition. All right, so here we are. Denwit says 0 node can matter. There's 2 5-star gas systems I can reach for my daily claim, and they're often completely full because of lazy G5 players. Denwit, what level are you? Because I can show you more than 2 5-star gas systems right now. Right now. Right now. I can't. All right. Using PNC at the moment. Yeah, PMC works as a lower level player against these. So we are currently on Wednesday right here. So we actually have the champion, Wrath of Credit Rivalry. And again, these are going to be the listed events. So if there's an update that needs, we will push out an update. But this is in my Discord under the STFC General channel. Let's see, it's Ultra. I don't think Ultra will mind me having that up for half a split second. But I do want to show y'all where this is. So if you go to my Fleet Command announcements channel, if you want to download the high resolution of this, it's the Fleet Command announcements channel. And here is the high res file. That way you can zoom in and see everything if you're as blind as I am. So we've got our events. And you see we got the big 6-day stuff going on right now. And there are going to be some things that maybe pop up that we didn't prep for, but other things we did. So you see the Starfleet secrets, but we don't have like the individual secret events. We just know that the Starfleet secret meta is running. So here you go. Any specific day you want to look at, let me know. Denwit says at level 46, not kind of the ones with flipping nodes in the Delta Quadrant. Well, I guess my first thing is you don't need to be doing 5-star at your level, though I guess it's always good to prep for the future. But yeah, I could still name a couple, like the ones up in Voyager space. Well, Voyager space. Which day should you build your G3 Epic? If you're going to build a ship, I always recommend doing that on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, because we have our ticket events. I'm not ticket events, our SLBs, right? So if you're going to do it because those are going to be usually days where you spend a lot of materials, right? If you are going to spend any type of materials, research, buildings, ship upgrades, I recommend doing it on weekends because you know there's going to be a big SLB. You might as well take advantage of the SLB. So that's the general paradigm I tend to operate from. So Voyager space is too inconsistent. Can't count on gas being available. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let me pull this off the screen so we can get back into here. Again, that calendar's on both our Facebook page, which is RD Pirate Gaming. If y'all have never gone to it, which I know not everybody uses Facebook, completely fine. But if you do, because I know not everybody uses Discord, there is my Facebook page if y'all want to go there and pick it up, or it is on my Discord, which I will also throw that link in the chat. If you're not already on the Discord, strongly encourage you to. Lots of good information there. So yeah, the Book of Face. It still exists, believe it or not. It still exists. It's still around. So I do want to transition. I know it's been an hour, but it's Wednesday. I want to look at a couple individual accounts. So we can help give people direction. I know a lot of people have been asking about this. It's been something we've been doing for the past month or so that y'all have really enjoyed. So we want to get into some of that. And yeah, we'll grab that. We'll grab that and go. So let's repair this real quick. And I need to go check it. Oh, come on. Go back in here. And I'm looking for, making sure I got, see, got to get this plugged in. I don't have the ship, so I'm 98 days away now. 98, I think it's September 11th is when everybody should expect to have it. September 11th. There we go. Get that full pull in. Get that full pull in. And then tomorrow I can do the uncommon again, full pull. So planetary charts, I always do this one because I need those planetary charts. So I can run more of my priority one away team missions. And then of course I can't do the Reliant mega claim or anything like that yet. Bummer. And I still need the rep to do a lot of other things. But I need to make sure I get that turn in and not forget it because I have a bad habit of forgetting that. So, all right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to start with G3 players. And we're going to look over where those are at. Try to give some recommendations. Obviously, y'all just saw me playing on a G3 account, so I'm pretty familiar with what your life is at the moment. Throw it out. List what level you are ops-wise. We'll try to take a look at 2 or 3 of them before we wrap up. Benji, what level are you? Want to bug you look at my level 59 account, but it's well in hand. My account only needs patience. That's fair. Benji, 39, you're almost ready for G4. But I can look, Benji. What's your, send me a message on Discord with your name in game so I can take a look at it. Send me a message in Discord with your name in game. All right. Same thing. Again, we do this to the system. If you have to send it to me on Discord. I've sent it to me on Discord. 41 here just needs stronger ships. I see that you're at 41 though, and you say you need stronger ships, then the argument then is just go to 42. There's some levels that like I don't really encourage people to sit at. All right, Benji, and shoot me any questions that you have about your account. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up, and we'll all take a look at it together and see where you're at for all level 39s. All right, let's go ahead. I'm putting it in now. Reset all of our filters. Level 39. Re-rank. Ooh, Benji. All right, you're definitely not ready to... Wow, Benji, you're definitely not ready to level up. Okay, here's a lot that you need to do. My Atlanta. Okay, I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying there's a lot. All right, so here's Benji. Benji is a 16 million powered level 39. You are currently ranked 4,188 out of 5,475. Benji, you are the epitome of please don't go G4. Please do not go G4. You are nowhere near ready. You definitely do not have a tier 7, tier 8, tier 9 level 34 faction ship. I would also assume you do, like I would have even gone to 39 at this power. You don't have your ISS jelly. You probably don't have most special ships. And more importantly, you've got a lot of research you're missing. For comparison, a safe power, again, just a general number, very general. Does not mean specifically being this power is going to mean you're great. But generally speaking, 35 million power as a 39 is a strong 39 who's ready for G4. So you're not even halfway there. So number of things I want you to start working on, Benji. Just looking at your account, I can see you don't have. Maxing out your G3 Epic. Whether you pick the Enterprise, the Augur, whatever, max that out. Formation Armadas. If you're not in an alliance that's running Formation Armadas, get in an alliance that's running Formation Armadas because you need artifacts. You need artifacts. I mean, you just saw my level 32 account's about 11 million power. So you need artifacts. I would also encourage you, if you're not already, be very involved in waves. Now, your alliance should, again, this is very important, group with people that work with you. You need to be running waves with your group. Waves is a big one for you, as well as solo armadas, Dominion solo armadas. You gotta get in the habit of working and doing those. So those 4 big things would be, hey, focus on these, really try to work on that. And again, if you decide to level up, that's on you, but I would be 39 for a while at 16 million power. There's just so many things that you're missing at that power. For reference, to show everybody else where 39 is at, the strongest 39 in the game right now is Sugar Fat Man, who was in the chat earlier. He's at 46 million power, 30 million higher. So get your epic max. You're going to need that anyway for doing your solo runs, for doing all your other runs. Get your special ships as high as they can be at that level. If y'all didn't know, our ops progression spreadsheet actually covers where you need to be, like where are the ships, getting them sourced, and also ops level, how high can they go, right, on several ops levels. So if you look at level 39 right here, you can see that we can have a tier 3 Titan A. You don't necessarily have to wait at level 39 just to get a Titan A up there, but it's good to know these things. Your Voyager could be tier 3. I would take your Voyager to tier 3, right? You can see up here, we can get to tier 8 on the Sarco. That is incredibly unimportant, but the one below it, getting the Amalgam to tier 5 can be quite valuable for you. Getting your Mantis up there, getting your Cerritos unlocked into, I think, tier 4 right here. If they're not, these special ships have a lot of value. And then obviously we have the Reliant. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, you need to wait until you get the Reliant, but I would say this, honestly, you could probably free to play the Reliant in the time that you're going to be at 39 catching up. So you got a lot of research to pick up on. Obviously, we're hitting big items like special ships and content that you should be engaging with. But yeah, 39, get to work. And don't worry, because you're at every stream, so you'll definitely be here for us to cover things that if you have questions. But yeah, ISS Jelly, you should also, because you're going to be spending time at 39, you should have plenty of time to get the ISS Jelly by doing regular armadas with your alliance. Remember, one thing that we encourage everybody to do every single day, every day, pull the Armada chest. I don't care if you're only pulling the uncommon one. Go do Armadas, pull the Armada chest. Every day, especially, you never stop pulling G3 Armada chest. Ever. You do it every single day. Every day. As soon as that timer rolls, do it. G3 Armada is so valuable. And again, a lot of this is about having a good alliance. If you're out there saying, hey, as a G3 player, how do I grow? You need a good alliance that's going to do waves with you, do armadas with you, bring you on formation armadas, and help you progress. And if you're not in one of those groups, I encourage you to get in one of those groups. So, Somebody, good to see you. Speaking of my friends on 710, I thought I was doing poorly until this arc. Doing level 36 exiles and outperforming level 45 plus people regularly was an eye-opener. We have a lot of rush people on 710 soon. Lots of rush folks on 710. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't slouch on tournaments. Yeah. Fielden giving another very good point. Don't slouch on tournaments. Tournaments, super valuable. Super valuable. Here, let me get my other. I gotta get 710 rebooted. See how that Reliant's doing in that new area. Do territory pulls for jellyfish if you can afford it. But I would say this, JG, specifically for Benji, it'd be more important for Benji to use his territory currency on research Because remember, the territory tree has a lot of good research, especially for a G3 player, than it would for him to use territory particles, or the ISO rather, using that on the ship BPs. So the territory, obviously you see me still working on things down here with ISO, but you got whole health, you got a bunch of cost efficiencies, you've got impulse speed. I mean, all these things that will drastically improve your game in G3 and G4. This is where a lot of your ISO is probably gonna get sucked up. But yeah, it depends on how much he's got. Do you think the newly added Prime in the event store is worth spending on? Do you mean spending money or spending currency on? If you're talking about the Prime Mirror Universe Primes, absolutely. There's two, in fact, that I really suggest. But yes. Also, ship cloaking. I forgot. I got to collect my Rotaran cloaking. Unlock. Why did I get Rotaran cloaking? Actually, because High Tone was chasing me, and I was like, frick, I still don't have cloaking. So, that High Tone's actually why I went and got that. So, blame High Tone why Rev now has cloaking on the Rotaran. I was going to do it anyway, but then I was like, crap, this dude won't stop chasing me. I got to get away. How do I get away? Cloak. That's a good idea. So, I got the thing. All right. Alrighty. Next up, who wants to be next on the list? What are those mirror primes you like? AT, I got a video coming. I'm going over this event store, talking about what has the best value, so I'll cover it there. To give you a little preview, the two that I think have a lot of value is, I guess I can show you in a second, but there's a mirror prime for ISO damage. There's also a mirror prime that's going to increase the number of opportunity / hits you have in waves. That's really big. So another G3 player, by the way. I need another G3 player, just because last time we did this stream, I had G3 players saying, hey, we didn't do any G3s. So if you're G3, shout out your level. We'll grab you. We'll talk about you. Now, if you're another level, like, hey, you're G4, G5, G6, don't worry. We've been doing this every Wednesday. So we will definitely get to you. I'm sure at some point we'll go through everybody. All right, Joseph, Phoenix, Ops 36. Shoot me a message in Discord with your player name so I can look it up. Tell me what server you're on, and then we'll take a look at your account and see if we can give you some direction. We just gave Benji a lot of direction. Hopefully not too much, but we'll definitely try to give you some direction and point you where you need to go. You haven't done 70 either? I mean, I could if you wanted me to. Yeah. Hey, you're level 70. Here's what you do. Get a Crenshaw for PvP, upgrade your Boar Cube, and then sit and wait for G7. That's about all there is to do. You could technically go do the new hostiles that just came out if you're into that. So, if you're into that. Yeah, shoot me a message there, Phoenix. Shoot me a message and we will go through. Go info. Sent. Are you Kilgris? Is that you? Is that you, Phoenix? I just want to make sure I got the right person. That's you? Okay, cool. Kilgris. Let's talk about Kilgris. Level 36. Oh, boy. From our home server of 710. I've got to be very gentle. If I'm not gentle, everybody will be mad at me. All right, let's do level 36. Don't worry, we'll put it on the screen, everybody. I'm just trying to find it first. All right, Kilgris. So obviously you and I have run into each other several times before, but Kilgris is sitting in 909 out of 3,820 players. Not bad. 14 million, so you're only a couple million behind where Benji was just at. Now let's start hitting some big points. Number one, Kilgris, shoot me any questions you have about your account in Discord. Some basics I definitely want you to be covering. Number one, you're working on the same thing Benji is with your level 34 Epic. We want to work on, you don't have to max it out, right? Tier 8 with the warp upgrade is kind of like the minimum we point at. And the reason being is you need the warp range. We were just talking earlier about warp range being an issue as the game has progressed, where like things are deeper and deeper. So you're not really upgrading the Enterprise, the Augur to tier 9 just because of the power. You're doing it really for the warp range. You want to try to get out as far as you can. Level 36, you also technically apply for the event whenever they decide to run it for the ISS Jelly, if that's something you want to work on. I don't know how important that is to you. And also, they have not been consistent for years with that event. But something to keep in mind if you see it pop up or populate, or if you see it on one of our calendars, definitely worth getting. In fact, yeah, Viper's right. Jelly event, I think, is today, I believe. So if you're not already, this is your first opportunity. Level 36, you can begin earning those jellyfish shards in that leaderboard event if it's something that you can prep and do. Would encourage it. Again, the whole idea behind the ISS Jelly is I'm trying to save you money, right? So if we max out that ISS Jelly, we work on our efficiencies at level 44, you can actually make it profitable. That way, when you scrap it, you actually get more currency in it than you spent. More currency you spent. And then you roll that into the Enterprise A at level 50, and that Enterprise A turns into a free maxed Enterprise D at level 60. So long-term planning, really, really good. You're halfway to the D4. 2 shards a day from away teams is nice. Awesome. D4 is a solid pickup. Not my first choice, but honestly, there's not a wrong choice. And it also helps you put crystal into something, meaning you freed up your gas and ore into other things. Some of the other things I just talked about, though, want you to focus on. Now, and I say I can speak specifically to Wolf because y'all just had a merger, right? So the hope for Wolf would be in your next Alliance tournaments, y'all score higher, maybe even ascend to another league. And the benefits of that are a couple things I want you to really focus on. NX02 Columbia skin, you're going to want that for the future, right? As you're prepping for getting into G4, you want that skin, even if you don't have the ship yet. Because as soon as you get the NX01, that's going to really, really help you with officer sourcing, which is going to be, I would say it's critical at this point to make sure you have good officers in G4, G5, so that you don't ever feel too far behind. Another thing, formation armadas. I don't know how much Wolf runs. I know we do a lot of formation armadas in Horde, but I've noticed on 710 as a whole, that's not a mechanic that a lot of people engage in. I see Guns do them every now and then because Humble runs like crazy amounts of them. And I know we do them, but formation armadas, if y'all aren't already doing that in Wolf, Kilgris, I would personally try to lead the charge for you because lots of good things in those artifacts. You got ISO researches, you've got efficiency researches, and that really helps set a lot of people apart because yes, it can be time consuming to go through that, but remember there are specific ones you can focus on, especially depending on what level you are. Here, I'll put a couple up on the screen for everybody to see that you really want to focus on having some of these unlocked. And again, you talk about what can make a player better just at a low level. Well, these are simple things. So let's do the uncommon formation armadas because that's what's going to apply to you the most. And I'll make it to where this is a little bit smaller and that'll work fine. Anyway, so let's take a look. So number one, I like the rares, but look at the formation armadas that give them. This is something a lot of people miss, especially on our new servers like 710. They miss that specific formation armadas will drop specific artifacts. So, for example, you want maybe, so you got like the whole health ones. See the whole health ones? They drop on the 45 uncommons. Now, I know that's a little bit high, but whether you get discoed out there or whatever, something to note. But you also get them from your victory chest as well. And this is just a great chart to have handy. Super important to start working on these, even if it's little things. Like, look at the one at the very top, Picard's Ammonite Fossil. Everybody talking about things like they're Reliant. Well, more protected cargo, start running more level 30 formation armadas, max out that, artifact that's going to help you out. All right, but look at other things like the construction speed one. You've got piercing mitigation PvP. I really like the warp speed one, Stamets original mycelium sample. That's another one that's behind the 45 uncommons, but anything you can do that speeds up your game, gosh, really good. So formation armadas, especially in G3, something I want people to get really used to doing early on. So if you're not already, do those. Let me take this off the screen and go back to where we were. Again, I want to look at your account again. So you're building the D4, going by this power. Did you pick up a 32? Kilgris, did you pick up a 32? You need that? Hey, Triax, all of that artifact sourcing is in my Discord. We have it for the uncommons, the rares, the crenums. All of that is in my Discord. And so again, I really try to stress players to get into a regular habit of doing those. Also, Kilgris, similar things again. I was just talking to Benji about. Want you doing waves? Section 31, very good, very valuable, especially long term. One of the more valuable things in the game right now. So you're doing a Saladin and a D3. Okay. All right. So personally, Kilgris, I would slow down to pick up your 34. I would slow down, pick up your 34. What's this that you just sent me? Oh, sorry, Chrono. I was wondering what you had just sent me. I thought it was something important. Anyway, so I would get your level 34 epic. Again, this is going to be a primary thing that you use long term. Work on your Cerritos. Congrats on maxing your Vidar, right? I maxed my Vidar. Why? Talios. So I didn't really mention that too much with Benji, but you're at 36. As soon as you max that Vidar, get that Talios built and going. And I mean, it's self-explanatory why that's good, but you can take that to tier 3 at level 39. So formation armadas, solo waves, regular armadas, another thing I really want to stress to you to do, super valuable for your level in G3. Really going to help progress you. So, lost audio? Nope, audio's still here. Smud, hopefully you didn't hit the pause button. So, yeah. You're doing good. I would also add you one more. If we're talking about power levels, because I said it about Benji, I would say 36 is kind of an awkward level. I would have slowed you down a little bit before if you're just asking for my personal recommend. I would say your goal now is to reach 39, but I would personally like you to be probably 25-ish, 20 to 25 million before you hit 39. And again, this is all just numbers for comparison's sake. Why am I bringing up these numbers? Again, just because Cheeky 2 is 30 million power doesn't actually mean he's the strongest level 36. It just means he's the strongest one in terms of like ships, etc. But it does give you a good barometer of where you're at. And you don't want to get stuck in a hole like when you get to 39 that you struggle to do content or you feel like you're behind. And it's easy to snowball effect where you start moving up in level so quickly, then you end up finding yourself at level 44 and you can't hit level 40 augment exile hostile. So you never want to move up too fast so that you can continue to do the content that's available to you. And another thing, again, Dominion Solar Armadas. Get in the habit of doing those. The Defiant, which I don't think you've unlocked yet, is going to help make that easier, but the Defiant takes a while. So something for you to look at in your event store this month is looking at those specialty ship sourcings like the Defiant that take longer and getting those unlocked. Not the Talios, because you're going to get that for free as soon as you build your Vidar and max it out. So once you got that maxed out, Talios is a mission you pick up in your holodeck. Go from there. But anyway, I don't want to get stuck too long. Again, if you need anything specific, Kilgris, my DMs are always open. You're more than welcome to message me. And the strongest 63, because somebody was asking, is 1.248 billion power. It's the strongest 63 by power. Remember, this is all just for comparison's sake. It does not specifically say that those are the best players. It simply says, hey, you can tell that this player has done their research. You can tell this player probably has high-tiered ships for their level, and you get a basic idea of where they're at. So, Borg and Jem'Hadar solos. Yes, the Borg comes second to the Jem'Hadar, but yes, you do want to be doing both. Talios makes that process easier. So, yeah. Talios makes that process easier. We're going to have to wrap up. We're already at an hour and a half. If you want more content, come hang out with us on Twitch tonight. A big thank you to all those who supported the channel today. Y'all's donations, y'all's love is how we're able to give away battle passes, how we're able to give away 2 Reliance this upcoming Friday. If you have not already, come over to the Twitch side Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're giving away 2 USS Reliance. It is going to be fun. It's $200 we're giving away thanks to the community. If you want to support the channel, check out our website, revduce.com. The latest episode of the podcast just dropped. So if you want to get inside information on gaming, inside information on STFC itself, head over there. We'll check y'all on the next one. Love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.